because of my friend Jed Paradis, who has this nonprofit, and he might be the biggest group of Quartet fan on the planet. And he used to come to our gigs all the time here. He'd come over from Tucson, and then he'd come right to Smoke. And he'd stay all night long, and he would just be in heaven. And after a while, he said to me one night, he said, I want you to do something with something bigger, maybe an orchestra or something. And I have this nonprofit, and I'm going to fund it. So I said, well, organ and orchestra, I don't really hear that, but big band, that is something I've always wanted to do, and that works. So he said, fine, put it together. And that's how it came about right there.
And who did the charts?
My friend Dennis Mackrel, who's a drummer who played with Basie and played some with Thad, but he's a really, really talented writer. He's a brainiac anyway. And I was in his big band. Well, we rehearsed all the time at the Union, and I couldn't believe his book is the size of an old New York Yellow Pages of material that he wrote it all, and we used to rehearse it, and I'd say, how does a drummer get to know the music like this? So this is way back. So the minute I heard big band, I thought of Dennis, and I called him right away and said, I got a job for you, and because Jed wanted me to write the music. I have written for up to 12 pieces. I've never written for a full big band, and I always wanted to, but that would be a learning curve, and that would be me really applying myself to try and come up with charts, and then at the date, having to conduct everything and having all that pressure. I said, no thanks. Let me just get somebody to take care of all that stuff. I just want to come in and play.
When I heard it, the first thing I thought of was the classic Jimmy Smith, Oliver Nelson stuff from the 60s.
Yeah, I mean, he did. Well, that's what the model is. I mean, that's what I was thinking of, because I love those records. I have them all. It wasn't just Oliver Nelson. It was Manny Album and Lalo Schifrin, different arrangers. But I love that sound, and especially at Rudy Van Gelder's, which is where we did the record. The sound that Rudy got on those records, the whole thing is just as good as it can get. Between Jimmy Smith's playing, the sound of the organ, the sound of the band, the writing, and everything is swinging, and everything is geared towards enjoyment. For the, it's not meant to recreate the wheel or anything like that. Basically, to me, I grew up on Jimmy Smith, and my sister had his record live at the Village Gate. That's the first one I heard. He was playing I Got a Woman, and that's what hooked me. That's when I was 10. And from then on, I just was a Jimmy Smith fan, and I still am. He wasn't a very nice dude. I met him a couple of times, kind of nasty to me, but I didn't care, because to me, he'll always be the king, and I still love his playing to death. And I'm still learning stuff from listening to those records all the time. It's not like that's all I listen to at all, but for just pure satisfaction, it's hard to beat him. So I learned my taste grows from there, from Jimmy Smith. So I see organ as a blues instrument. I see it as a church instrument. I see it as raising the spirits, feeding the soul. All of these terms come to mind, but I also see it as an instrument to play bebop on, and to play lines, and to play harmony, and to expand the vocabulary, because it's a kind of an open field. When I made the big band record, that's where I wanted it to be coming from, and I told Dennis that, and I kind of schooled Dennis. I told him to listen to these records, because he hadn't heard them. He didn't even know there had been organ with big band records. Yeah, he had never heard one. So I said, before you write anything, I gave him a list to listen to all these records, because this is what I'm after. Plain as, I would just make it very simple for you. Just focus on that. And he did, and he came up with the perfect stuff. When I heard it, I was like, okay, there you go. It's just exactly what I was hoping for. So, it's one of those that record to me, I've had some magical record dates. I've had some ordinary record dates. That was one of the most magical I've ever been out of my own. The whole thing of going to Rudy Van Gelder's, of the band was spectacular. All of the greatest musicians in every chair. And then playing the organ that Jimmy Smith played on all those records I've been hearing since I was 10. There I am at the organ. The band is set up just like the back in the day with all the boom mics all over, and the music sounds spectacular. There's no way you're not going to have fun in that setting. So this was like my top Christmas of all time. I was just like a kid in a candy shop. And it was just, like I say, I couldn't do any wrong. It seemed like everybody was playing at their best. And just being there with those guys, I mean, even just taking a break, going out into Rudy's parking lot. And it was freezing, too. It was like February. It was right before the shutdown in March for COVID. It was in 2020. So we just made it. We just made the record, and then everything shut down and the world collapsed for a while. But I had this magical date, and it kept me going for a long time.